Ahoy there, YouTube! I'm back again today for another Behind the Corner, where I take you behind the scenes of running Bauer's Game Corner, and I teach you all about all the different things I do and how I make money in a variety of different ways utilizing Bauer's Game Corner. Now, while we're primarily going to be focusing on the YouTube aspect and the digging into the videos and the numbers and trying to figure out what I should do more of, what I should do less of, what notes I should take, that sort of thing, we're also going to be digging into the other side ways that I make money. Some of them very large, some of them very small. And in fact, we're going to start off with just the info from March 2022, and this is it right here. So I had 80,000 views for 5,000 watch hours, meaning that I was watched at every second of the day, which is a really interesting feeling when you really break it down. And every YouTuber, as they grow, eventually gets to that feeling. If they get this large, where it's like, there's somebody watching me at every second of the day. It's so bizarre. I gained 253 subscribers, which was fantastic. I do want to really give a kudos to that one, because as you can see, that's higher than nearly every month except for January. And January was a huge boom period for me. It even surpassed December, and what that tells me is my 12:30 Kickstarter critiques are something that I definitely need to do on a regular basis. So in the month of March, I really said to myself, you know what, I'm going to try and focus on doing a lot of 12:30 Kickstarter critiques. And my general format is the 1:30 Kickstarter critique is on a tabletop board game, something that's in my lane. And then I try and widen my lane by doing something at 12:30, which is normally a tabletop role-playing game, or maybe it's a tech product or a movie. And some of the products that I do, and a nice little segue here and to one of the ways I make money, is sometimes I'll use Kick Booster products. And Kick Booster is a marketplace where you can go look at a whole bunch of different Kickstarter and Indiegogo campaigns, and if I put the link down in the description in the doodly-doo, and you click on it and you go back that project, I get a certain percent of it back. So 10%, 8%, 7% on different projects, all the way I believe up to 15%. Now, here's the problem. If you watch my channel on a routine basis, you know I typically destroy Kick Booster products. It's just, more times than not, there's a lot of red flags on Kick Booster products, which might explain despite the fact I've been doing it for a year and I've gotten, 1,600 clicks on these things in the product, I've only made, I think, a grand total of like $58. There's only been like 5 referrals that I've actually done, but I'm hoping that sooner or later I'll find some good Kick Booster products. But yeah, so that's one of the very tiny ways that Bauer's Game Corner makes money, is with Kick Booster. But honestly, it's more than just that, and we'll get into that a little bit later. So let's break this down daily. Let's take a look at what's going on here. So the first thing that really surprises me here is just fantastic subscriber numbers here. Dipping, between 3 to 9 and up to 12, that is outstanding. Now on Thursday, March 31st, the last day, only one, but hey, whatevs. It's not losing as well. And this gets even more impressive when I say go last 365, and then you start to see that this is way up from where it was. Oh no, it's pretty steady, but I think just getting a little bit higher. Like look at this segment right here. You can see this is above 0 for just a big consecutive period. Wow. For like months, whereas down here there's a lot more times that it would dip down into the negatives. That's me finding my groove on subscribers, which I do love. But let's go take a look at the most popular videos for the month of March, and then you can see exactly how much each video kind of makes me. And also, I'm very excited because we have a new bar to click on, which is the research bar, and so I'll do this. Oh, nope, I won't. But we're going to check out that research bar and see what's new there. So the most popular videos for the month of March for me, and then so these are what they're saying, kudos on these. These are like little notes they're giving me, so I can, more views because you publish more videos. Once again, that goes back to making sure I always have a 12:30 video, because my main goal really on Bauer's Game Corner is to try and get 3 to 4 videos up a day during the weekdays on just a variety of different topics. Board games, how to play, pretty much everything. And I'm trying to keep widening my lane because I love talking about different pieces of content, and I see different success with different pieces of content, and I'm just trying to figure out how I can just get a little piece of everything. Part of the reason why I love IGN so much is IGN was able to see that we should just not cover video games. We should cover a wide gambit of things, because most of the time, if you're interested in video games, you probably would be interested in knowing what a great show is, or what a hidden gem of a book, or so, little things like that. So more views because we publish more videos. That's great. And what's this say? 71 videos. So typically I post 70, 62 to 70, but I got 71. And that means, so I'm happy with that. And then more revenue from more people seeing your videos. Well, duh, I guess that's kind of how it works. But yeah, look at that, $80K and $384. Awesome. And yeah, that's the big number there that I kind of glossed over, which is the estimated revenue sitting at $397 for the month. So that goes into my Google AdSense, and I just kind of let that accumulate. That's like some rainy day money. Realistically, that might get us a used car in the next few years. But this is awesome, because you go back and you look at, say, last March, and I'm sitting at $217. That's $180 more than last March. That tells me that all these changes that I'm making are just really working out. Let's see what subscribers were last March. So subscribers were last March, those are pretty solid too. 153 down to 107. But either way, 253. So excited about that. Now let's see what was moving the needle now. Let's go down and check out the videos. And so, first one, this one, and this is why I always try to be very flexible. I might schedule a game for a particular day's Kickstarter critique and then change it at the last second. And the reason why is when I see something big coming, I try to be one of the first people to get a video up on it. And so Casting Shadows, the board game, was one of those such videos. And as you can see, despite the fact I only posted that in March 24th, and this is just for the month of March, by the way. So this is in 7 days. This was my most popular video in 7 days, with 2,922 views and a very solid 6 minutes average view duration. Love that. Then we're going to the low-key bread and butter. One of the things that I found out last year could really help Bauer's Game Corner grow in a variety of different ways, and that is the how to play videos, and I continue to chug those out. I am making less of them. That's just because when I first started making the how to play videos, I saw all these games that needed videos that didn't have videos yet. So I just bought all those games, especially because a lot of them were just dirt cheap, like $5, $6, $10 Amazon games. But I was like, this needs a how to play video, and now I'm running out of those videos, which means I'm just constantly like trying to find, what are the newest games? What's coming out at Target? And so how to play Uno All Wild. This one I had the first video up on the internet for, and it's still churning along at 2,821 views. And this gets me double excited because I want to show you something, how to play Uno All Wild. There are other YouTubers now who have made, with much larger fan bases. So yeah, sitting at 50, this person has 105,000 subscribers. Triple S Games is someone who was able to figure out that this was something they needed to do at the right time, and now they do a bunch of these videos and they make some bank on it. They have such a huge collection of things bringing in pennies and nickels and dimes every single day. But I'm still happy that people are still clicking on this one as well. And that tells me that maybe they're a little bit skeptical. Because here's the one thing about that I try to do in my video. I try to make it so that you're always going to be able to play without the rule booklet. And I see his videos and I see them in the shorter, and I'm like, really? How could you explain this in 1:20? I feel like you're glossing over. Yeah, the rules are the same except for regular Uno. But yeah, so these are... So I'm excited about this. Very excited about this. And that one, despite the fact I posted that in December, still my second most popular video last month. Wasn't because I was covering hot new Kickstarters. It was because I covered how to play Uno All Wild. I was one of the first people to do it. And of course, because I covered the Little Caesars Pizza Portal. Because that is my third most popular video in the month of March. And this is why you might see me dabbling more into some food reviews. Because I see that there is a big market for this. And I have the personality. If you watch the channel, when I let my freak flag fly, I feel like I could be very palatable to a YouTube Shorts audience. Now, here's the thing about this. 2.4 thousand views, 0 subscribers, 0 estimated revenue, but it still got me, it's getting me 5 views in the last 48 hours. And I don't know. I feel like this is like the ultimate scratching lottery tickets is doing the YouTube Shorts. And I'm bluntly honest about this. I feel, because how they worked, essentially, is most YouTube Shorts that I put up will get next to no views. They'll get 10 to 100 views. But then, every 1 out of 10 maybe, 1 out of 20, no, I'd say 1 about 10, I think is about my ratio, which makes me think I'm doing some pretty decent videos, will get on what's called the short shelf. And then over a very short period of time, it will just, boom, spike. And so this one right here spiked from Thursday, March 17th at 5:45 p.m., right around dinner time, to Friday, March 18th at 5:45. So for what is that? 25 hours. No, for 24 hours. That spiked, and it got 2,277 views. Now, clearly, the market was saying, we don't necessarily want to subscribe to this content because it's very weird. But that's not always the case. Sometimes this number will be 5, 6, 7. And what will eventually happen, I've been told and I've read, is that if something gets onto the short shelf a second time, that's when they... so how it works is they pretty much say, I think that there is this specific group of people who might like this YouTube short. Let's put it on their short shelf and see if they'll watch it. And if that goes really well, then at some point in the future, they will broaden that a little bit. So now you're not just to this crowd, but you're to that crowd because you had great success with that YouTube short. And that's the second and third time apparently you get on the short shelf is when things really start going gangbusters and you potentially get, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of views and the potential of going, light viral, which would be huge, especially if I could get one of these YouTube shorts on a board game, and then it would be a natural crossover. I haven't quite been able to do that yet, but that's why you still see YouTube shorts popping up, because I still see success with them, and I'm just trying to pinpoint the best way for Powers Game Corner to utilize them. Because I have a lot of board game ideas I want to do with them, and you know what? I'm going to do one this week. I want to try and do a YouTube short that's under a minute that gives you a feel for how a turn works, and I'm going to start with a very popular game. This is going to be a new segment. I'm doing it. Committed. If any of you see this in the past, just say, hey, Forrest, do that segment. Get up off your butt and go do it. Because I got a baby and I forget things and I got so many ideas. But speaking of which, back to buying new games, we go to Five Alive, which was a $5 or $6 Target release, and I try and check Target at least 3 or 4 times a week to see if they have new games. Yeah, this is my life. This is how I run Powers Game Corner. I'm like an ambulance chaser, but for Target games. But because, and you'll see why. Ooh, that's actually nice. I didn't realize I could click on a button on my mouse and just open a new tab. Because it's made its money back. Since I posted this, February 9th, it's made 3 times its money, and it's gained me 6 subscribers. And the bottom line is, this video is only going to grow, because it's purely informative. People in 20 years who pull out this game are just as likely to use this video as people who pull it out next week. In fact, the people in 20 years are more likely because maybe the rule booklet has been lost. And as long as I can get one of the most popular, and as long as I'm making good quality how to play videos, these are going to be consistent money for the long term, as long as YouTube is viable. So let's look, just on a typical day. So let's see. Boop. 13 cents, 43 cents, 29 cents. We get to Easter Sunday, 60 cents. Just on this one video, I made 60 cents on Easter Sunday because a lot of people are playing this game on the holidays. And it's not a hard video to do for me, which is why you see a lot more of those. Continuing on, we have another one of the 1230 Kickstarters, and we are going to go more in depth into this in a little bit. But right now we're just looking at the top 10 games of March. And this one, once again, the Kickstarter critique sitting at 6 minutes and 42 seconds. People are watching 30% of that video. That's awesome. That is fantastic. And 1,700 views, so this one got me 1,700 views. And this is obviously the biggest Kickstarter in history, but it gave me 4 subscribers as well. 4 subscribers who were most likely just people who enjoyed Brandon Sanderson or like, oh, I like board games as well, and came along for the ride. And you also get to see I made $10.56. And the thing about the Kickstarter critiques are there's minimal pre-effort put into them, which is part of the reason why I love them so much. I try to go into them as blind as possible, trying to know as little as possible. And sometimes some things get spoiled when I go to the Board Game Geek page or when I go to Twitter and I find out they have like 50,000 Twitter followers. I'm like, oh, we're getting something interesting here. But for the most part, I try and go to them blind. And they're just fun segments. And I made 1056 sitting there, but more importantly, 4 subscribers to me. And I believe Brandon Sanderson watched it too. I think Brandon Sanderson is now one of the hundreds of millions of people who have watched at least one of my videos, I believe. And that's one of the other things interesting too, is when you do a Kickstarter critique, and there's so little content sometimes on new Kickstarters, you think to yourself, like, did this person see that? I bet this person saw my video. It's weird. How to play Skyjo the card game. I go back to this as being one of my crown jewels of me seeing something that other people quite weren't seeing, which is that this one desperately needed a how to play video. And here's the other thing, too. It started off slow sledding. Like, I can remember this. I remember posting this video and think this is going to be a big video, and then it just trickles, and then it trickles, and then boom, we see some huge growth. And this one video, it's like a $17 Amazon card game, much bigger in other parts of the world than the United States of America. There's like 12 different languages in the rule booklet, has gained me 23 subscribers and $90. And just in the month of March, let's just go month of March, $16 for the game. The game paid for itself in 1 month. And, look at there, it's making more money than it was from January to February. So from the same 30-day period, and then it gave me 9 subscribers just in the month of March. Now, these statistics, these are beautiful. I think these new statistics down here are fun. Those are fun. And those are very informative. So people are watching it slightly less, but it still gave me more subscribers and estimated review. And that's the other thing, too. The more how to play videos, and I used to call them skip the rules. I used to try to be fancy and have my own title. And then my buddy Scott was like why not just title them how to play? And I was like, yeah, duh. Like, why am I getting fancy? Like, duh. And so now there's like I've done over 100 how to play videos in a very short period of time. And now there's a huge catalog. So when, maybe they click on that card and they say, all right, people don't click on cards. I've found out. But they see that I've done a whole bunch of these and they're much more likely to subscribe. The more videos you have in that how to play coffer, especially if they have a great experience with your how to play video, which is always my primary goal. I try, I come from a perspective of someone who has used how to play videos that were not the greatest, and then been super mad because then I have to go back to the rulebook because I don't want to do that to people. And if I can give people good experiences, I think that's going to be a good thing. Next, we have Sorcery, the Contested Realm TCG, which I got to tell you, typically when I do trading card games, that's just bleh. It's just they're heartless and they're soulless. Yeah, but the last one I actually got to see, and this one I believe got an A. This was a fantastically ran trading card game, and if you're launching a game on Kickstarter, a trading card game in particular, this is just one you need to check out. And it gave me 9 new subscribers, 685. That's great. So once again, I don't look at this. Because here's the bottom line. This used to be 6 cents. This used to be 68 cents for my best Kickstarter critiques. So I don't look at the now, I look at the big picture, and as more people say, hey, I enjoy this because I shot this video, this is the important number to me. This is always the important number to me. I don't care about that. Like, that will come, that will go. But this tells me that I am onto something. Something I'm doing here is working. And some people don't do that. Some people, they poo-poo on the subscriber number. They say, it's not the most important number. I disagree. You're doing something that someone quite literally said, I want to be notified when this person does more of this thing. How is that not... that's so valuable. Like, speaking of valuable, this is why I introduced the Bowers Play segment, where I play a lot more games with myself. Because typically when I try to do gameplay videos, I try to do gameplay videos with other people. However, this one kind of changed my tune. Because once again, this video was posted November 28th, 2020, and it's still in my top 10 most viewed videos from month to month to month. And it's this Neil Patrick Harris game that, once again, this also put my firm belief in being, early to those retail store games, Target games. I wish Walmart made it more easier to find out when they have new games, because I was the second video, I do believe, on this. I brought this home. I played it immediately. I stayed up until like 2 or 3 in the morning to make sure I could get this stuff all up because I was hoping it was going to do gangbusters. And did it do gangbusters? It did for me, hundreds of, and then boom, it just absolutely exploded. And now this one it's coming into my top 10 videos of all time, I do believe, which I might do another day, just going over my top 100 videos of all time and seeing trends potentially in that. But yeah, 40 subscribers, $162, made its money, I think 3 or 4 or 5 times over. And then last we got to the number 10, one that honestly I thought was not going to do too well, but it's recently picked up, and that's How to Play Ono 99. And I think the thing was, with these games in particular, these small box games, I get them really early. I will get them the day they're released. I'll put up stuff, and then they don't do too well. And then I'm like, disheartened. But then what happens is eventually they start the uptick. Because, like, look at this. So, like, the first couple weeks, like 300, but now it's up to 2744. 16 subscribers. It's paid for itself. It was like a $6 game, made my money back on this, and it's going to make even more money as we progress. And so there. So that was a brief overview. Let's take a look at this research, and then actually let's go see more and research. Can we do both? Oh, look at that. That one won't let me. So this is weird. This one won't let me click on it. So we'll go to research. All right. I don't know about you, but this does not seem very useful. We'll come click back on that later and see if we can figure out what's going on there. But let's actually pivot to another one of the ways that Bowers Game Corner makes money, because it's not primarily this. Actually, it's primarily Fiverr. And if you don't know, I run a Fiverr where I do a variety of different services. I will do a Kickstarter critique for you. I will go over your rule booklet one. The Kickstarter videos that I put up where I'll do prototype videos, those ones I'll get paid for. So in the month of March, I made, let's see if we can do this real quick, $480. That was a big one. That one's really exciting. I'm helping. So I have one Kickstarter pledge level because I was like, you know what? I want to give this a spot. I've made a game myself. I know the process, the manufacturing, the reviewers reaching out to this, running the Kickstarter. Like, I've done every single step of it. And so I was like, what if I just set up a Fiverr pledge level or say, I will help you, give you all the steps you need and be a partner somewhat. Not like a big partner, but just like there to guide you and help you if you have any questions or give you ideas and pointers on creating your own game. And somebody reached out to me and they're making a trading card game. And we've been talking for months now. They just ended up wrapping this, but so that's the big 480 chunk there. So 528, we're looking at 688. What's that? So it's 700, 740, 788, and then we're looking at, wow, I'm saying this number out loud, and this makes me feel really good. That's like $948 in Fiverr. That's like $950 off Fiverr right there. Woo! Be still my beating heart. And my thing about my Fiverr is I started off dirt cheap. And people used to give me crap all the time about how dirt cheap my prices were. But I was like, you know what I want to do? I want to build up my ratings. I want to keep doing Fiverrs and I want to keep doing really, really well and try and give people the best customer service I can. I don't always do it because I'm lackluster at communication. And in fact, I was up to a level 2 seller in March, which explains why I was making so much money. And now I'm back to just a plain old regular seller because when I was in the hospital, 2 of my things went late. Even though I could, Fiverr is very fickle. So I could literally reach out to the person and say, hey, I'm going to be delivering this 2 days late. I went into labor, you know, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, oh, so happy for you. You know, take all the time you need, blah, 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 blah. Like, everything could be totally cool between the buyer and the seller, which is me. And that's normally what happens. But then, if I'm a second late, or if the other person, like, doesn't click on a button to, like, extend my deadline, they forget to do it, then I immediately get dinged and I get dunked down, and I need to get way better at that. That's something I'm working at. I got myself a dry erase board, but Fiverr is definitely one of those things that's going to supplement a pretty large portion of my income, because what I do is, as I get more positive reviews, a 4.9 star over 50 reviews, baby, that's what I'm talking about, I slowly start to raise my price. So most, you know, the Kickstarter check might bump up to $60. This might bump up to $70. And so that's one of the ways that I make money as well. And the Fiverr, the thing that I absolutely adore about the Fiverr is it allows me the freedom to go and do whatever I want a little bit more, because I can critique your rules, you know, in an airport. I can do it sitting in my car waiting to ride the toboggan with my family, which I've done before, and just that little of freedom. Like, I could be, like, that's amazing to me. I can do a Kickstarter critique anywhere in the world. I can check your rule booklet anywhere in the world. I can, you know, it's just, it gets me very, very excited. And I think, okay, I just had an idea. I need to write this one down. I do apologize. I typically say I'm going to write stuff down, but then I don't. But this one's so good. I need to widen my Fiverr to say that, hey, if you just want to teach me the game on Tabletop Simulator, and we'll play a whole round. Like, because there's people that want that. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. They just want the Bowers Game Corner name attached to it because it gives it a little bit more credence, I guess. And that's just... Don't give me a big head. Don't give me a big head. All right, let's keep going. Let's keep going. What do we got? Because I'm not there yet. I got a long way to go, and I can't wait to keep getting going there. All right, so let's check out subscribers gained. Is this going to work? We're going to check out subscribers lost. Typically, we can't see too much from this because they'll be so spread out. Check out card clicks. Nobody clicks on the cards, but we'll try it out. Let's check out estimated revenue so we can see deeper than the top 10. And then let's see shares. Nobody shares anything. Who shares YouTube videos? Nobody shares YouTube videos. Okay, we got 42 shares of the How to Play Uno All Wild. Wow, okay. My scroller wheel is garbage right now, so I got to try it. Come on, there we go. How to Play Five Alive. How to play. Wow, the only videos that I have that are getting shared are these How to Play videos. And then the Kickstarter critique, Bluey. This is spectacular. I've never really looked too much into this category, And now it just once again reaffirms to me, because this is all my videos that I've ever done. I have 4,000 plus videos. The only ones that are pretty much getting shared are these how to play videos, which is great. That's fantastic. Good to know. Estimated revenue. Let's check out the money. So we already know basically some of these because they were the top 10. How to play Skyjo the card game, Casting Shadows, Neil Patrick Harris, Brandon Sanderson. How to play LCR Wild, coming in strong there. And that one is so interesting to me because I also want to add views as well. Let's get the views in here because it's so fascinating to me. Why don't you come on work please? Work? Are you gonna add views? Oh, they're already there. Okay, they're there. So let's see. I want to see. So like 681 views for this in a pickle, but it still made me $7.56. Why is that? Same with Barrel of Monkeys got 13. Yeah, I did how to play on Barrels of Monkey because I realized nobody else had done how to play on Barrels of Monkey. Don't just assume everybody knows how to play Barrels of Monkey. It's so weird. It's all these how to plays pretty much that are just they're earning me. And this was actually kind of what inspired me going back, because I saw that my reviews of these popular games were still going to be people are still watching them. Like this one is from 9 years ago. I did this left, center, right review, and I spiced up the thumbnail so it looks nice, but the camera quality is garbo because it was 9 years ago. And yet it's still getting viewed, and it's still maybe $3.86. And what I noticed when I looked through the algorithms is what are people watching on this? Like the most popular section, that was what I want to do, is when I am talking about how the actual game played. And so then I was like, all right, gameplay videos for these old classics. Let's do it. And then I realized a lot of people other figured out this before me, but blah, blah, blah. Okay, so card clicks. 4 card clicks. Nobody clicks on the cards ever. This is what I tell you. 4 card clicks. Now, I have cards, I believe, in every single one of my videos that I've put out in the last few years. So at least 2,000 videos have cards. I got 4 card clicks. Okay, subscribers lost. So 3 people, and this one actually is somewhat, did not like my Sorcery Contested Realm TCG, which is surprising because I was I praised this one highly. Typically, when you get the praise ones, that's when you get less people leaving. But you can also see when you get the praise ones, that's when you get subscribers gained. And that's one thing I want you to know. I wish I was more positive in my Kickstarter critiques. Because the bottom line is, it's when they're more likely to get shared by publishers, and that's when you form, but I'm going to be honest. But none of these numbers really jump out to me, 2211, whatevs. Subscribers gained, though, much more important, because we can really, and then here we go. This is why I do the Splinterlands content. So I started covering a play-to-earn game called Splinterlands. It's an NFT game, which I know has a lot of people not a big fan one way or the other. But I'm trying to carve myself somewhat of a niche into that market because it's a relatively new market and because I absolutely adore the game. Like, the game itself is fun. You have to splunk money to get into it. Like, a couple $100 you're going to have to do if you're really going to want to have some fun, which sucks. But it's a really solid game. Like, gameplay-wise, it's really well made. But, so 16 subscribers there, that's huge. Then we have the trading card, or the trading card game at 12, how to play Skyjo card game, Casting Shadows, how to play Ono, and then most of these. Little Caesar's Pizza Portal. Oh, it said I didn't gain any subscribers. What? When we looked at the analytics, it said none, but now it actually says 6, so now I'm really glad I looked at this. Welcome aboard, you 6. How to play Cluke Suspect the card game, Title Blades 2. All right, and yeah, most of these, and that's the other thing, a lot of these are just going to be Kickstarter critiques. Kickstarter critiques, Kickstarter critiques, Kickstarter critiques. And if I'm gaining, 1 to 4 subscribers on most of my Kickstarter critiques, and I'm doing one every single weekday, you see why I get so excited about the way my arrow is moving. Which is why I want to take you to another one of the behind-the-scenes things that I like to look at all the time, which is Social Blade. By all the time, I'll check it out once every month or so. So Social Blade pretty much ranks you versus every single other YouTube video on the planet or in the United States, and it gives you a grade. It's a really cool service. I've been using it since 2011. They don't pay me or anything, no sponsorships. By the way, I do have one sponsorship, which is with the Gamecrafter. I don't know if they'd want me to divulge how much I make, but it's enough to pay a bill. Probably sometimes 2 bills, with not with how my children waste water and electricity. So probably a bill, and it's awesome, and it also opens me to a lot of newer game designers who then watch the Kickstarter content, and it's a perfect marriage. And I love the Gamecrafter. I highly recommend them. I use them long before they started to sponsor me, which I think is part of the reason why they keep the sponsorship, just because I love them and I always shout them out. But anywho, out of all the YouTube videos, well, this is the Social Blade rank. I don't quite understand that one, so we'll go to this. But subscriber rate, there are only 10,370 YouTube channels in the world with more subscribers than me. Well, there's 1.8 million higher than me, but a lot of those are tied. You know, like how many people have this number and that number. So realistically, I'm in the top 2 million YouTube channels. That's cool. Video view ranks, I'm closing in on the top 1 million. And then this is the one that's really cool to me. Country ranked, I have the 4,154 biggest YouTube channel in the United States of America, and I'm the 3,306 biggest YouTuber in all of games. But the more important thing that I like to look at is really, they show you the numbers from a longer perspective, so I can just see moving up. And like right here, here's the subscribers that I was talking about. So let's go back to 40, 60, 20, 30, 20, 20, and then down to no subscribers. Oh, that was for 1 week, though. So that was a whole week in October. No subscribers. Thank you, Keith. And now you can see where I've just really been churning it up. And we have some downs here and there. And we're going to have more downs here and there. But the bottom line is, I'm just working on getting rid of this one. Now, the other thing that really excites me, and then look at this. Look at that. Boom, snaking it up. Love it. Is it gives you your projected future projections. Now, I do want to say my future projections are going a little bit crazy right now because, like I said, this last month has been really, really good to me. But it's like, so in 5 years, they're expecting me to have 200,000 subscribers. And I say to myself, in 5 years, if I have half of that number, I will be pie in the sky, over the moon, ecstatic. And if I have a fourth of that number at the current way I'm trending, I'm going to be able to do this as a job for the rest of my life. Based on Fiverr and based on Patreon, which we haven't gotten into, and based on a wide variety. Loving the new content. Thank you, Not My Eyeballs Games. So either way, best case scenario, I'm a taste maker like Tom Vassell. You know, craziness. Half that, or even at a fourth of that, and I'm still super content. You know, and that gets me really excited. And to see this number constantly ticking up of what they project based on looking, because once again, they have all the data. They got all the data, baby. All right, speaking of Patreon, another nice little pocket of income I have every month, and we're close to getting to $100 per month. Now, my Patreon, I will say, is a little bit of a desert wasteland. It's kind of just more like, hey, I like your content, and I want to contribute to that. And if that's you, that's awesome. I recently tried to give away a Gamecrafter gift card there by letting people know that. I'm going to try and get involved. In fact, when I get to $100 per month, I'm going to be giving away this Batman game, which was really hot stuff like 4 or 5 years ago. It's a minis game. Tons of minis. But yeah, and it's $94 a month, just every single month. And that consistency is nice. Because this, once again, this is not money I touch. It trickles into an account for when I need it. Speaking of which, and then we'll get back to the videos, then we'll get out of here, because I got another live stream in 26 minutes. Oh my goodness. We have Amazon Associates, another way that I make money on YouTube. And so pretty much if you look down below, there'll be something most of the time will say, hey, purchase games on Amazon, buy anything on Amazon. And if you click on that and you buy anything at all, doesn't matter what it is, I get a small percentage of whatever you buy. Now, the thing is, like I said, most people just don't click on YouTube videos because the bottom line is this is for the month of March to April 18th, and I had 858 clicks and 3 items ordered, and I made a grand total of like $2.13. And for the month of April, I've made absolutely nothing. No one's ordered anything. And it's just, it's down there. Most of the time it doesn't do anything, but every once in a while I'll be like, hey, somebody bought a TV and I just got $4, you know? And hey, presumably as my views grow, that number will slowly rise, or it might not. But that's not one I bank on. That one just kind of pools up. But let's go check out back over here, because I think we're done talking about all the other ways that I make money on Bauer's Game Corner. Subscribers gain. Let's check out the views. Let's check out the views. You've been busy. I have been very busy. I kind of said to myself, I got a new baby coming, and I want to just crank out tons of content. I want to get myself into a good place where I feel comfortable with the content I'm putting out and the time I'm putting into the content, being able to put out that content. Because right now my wife's at home. She's on maternity leave. 10 weeks, she's going back to work, and then it's me, the baby, and you know, everything. And so I want to be able to have content that I could do while still having the baby most of the day. You know, so the Kickstarter critiques, it's like, oh, down for a nap. Boom, 45 minutes, up for a nap. You know, everything I can shoot at night. Like, and it's one thing I'm trying to get better at is shooting at night, but typically I'm a little bit more tired at night, and I like to have the energy. But anywho, continuing on. What do we got? What were we looking at? Estimated revenue, card clicks, subscribers lost, subscribers gained. Yeah, let's check out the views. Let's check out the most popular things, see if I can get any sort of give on what to do more of. And as you can see, that's about, so I look like I have about 10 videos in a given month that'll hit 1,000 views. And most of them just how to play. I mean, just keep doing how to plays, idiot. Nobody cares about your board game content, loser. You're not Tom Vassell. Just give us our how to play videos and dance for the Kickstarter stuff. And that's pretty much what I see here. That being said, I still am going to do board game content because that's where my heart is. That's where my heart lies. You know, it's not in creating a video on how to play a pickle. But the bottom line is, I own How to Play in a Pickle because it's a fantastic game to play with young children. And I shot that video in like 30 minutes and edited it all done in about 30 minutes. And it's going to consistently make me money for the... So that's the work aspect of it. I don't consider this the work aspect of it. I love going through these numbers with you. I love checking out Kickstarters with people. The work aspect is this sort of stuff. How to plays are super helpful. Jimmy E. World, well, thank you very much for letting me know. And any feedback on those, I am more than open to. And then, yeah, so how to plays, and then Kickstarter critiques. And then a gameplay sneaking up there, even though that game, Wizard of Oz, not one I recommend. But let's see. That was, and so yeah, I actually want to go one last segment. This is my favorite. Let's see if the research popped up. Is research going to work? No. You'll have to tune into the April one to see if the research tab that they were just advertising to me as being the new hot thing is going to work. But what I do like to look at is seeing the pulse of Bauer's Game Corner. So you go to Channel Analytics in the last 48 hours. So the last 48 hours right now are very skewed because Easter happened and a lot of people were watching How to Play videos. But as you can see, last 48 hours, How to Play, the Uno Ultimate Marvel, which I was the first person on the internet to break that. So I'm glad to see that I'm reaping some of those fruit right there. Cryptic Trading Card Game, my most recent Kickstarter critique from yesterday, a trading card game. And actually, they left me a thing in the comments, got to check it. The Great Wall Buffet, let's see how this one is. Now this one, I was with my boys, we had a special dude day, and +1 subscriber, cool. I checked out my local Chinese buffet and talked about it. The YouTube shorts are a really interesting area. But let's see. I want to see the last 60 minutes and see if there's anything we need to address right now. Because I check this section, I'll be brutally honest with you, probably 4 or 5 times a day. Because if I see anything spiking over here, well, this one's spiking, that means I need to jump on it. So, you know, let's say that this, for whatever reason, started to spike, and then I would want to check their Twitter, I'd want to check their Facebook, because if they've made some sort of Twitter post or some sort of Facebook post, and it's getting shares and it's getting likes, I can kind of, you know, attach myself to that and say, hey, see how to play the game. And so nothing too major and pressing in the last 48 hours. Stonefire Thoughts from the Corner, that's the new one that I just did, and that's exciting to me as well. That's my most recent, you know, typical board game content, me and Adam sitting down, and that's not work either. That, despite that being... they are there forever. They are there forever, which is why I love them. Yeah, so nothing too much to read into here. Space Lion, that one's on GameFound right now, by the way. That's a really cool asymmetrical game. Now, that being said, they sent me only one faction, and I played against myself in the one faction, but I'm really excited for that game. The system is very clean and clear, so I hope they do well with that one. There you go. That's how much money I made in the month of March 2022. I do apologize for this video being a little bit later than I typically like them to be, just because I had a new baby on March 11th, and before that, I don't really have a good excuse except for I was slacking. But as always, if you enjoyed this content, please be sure to click on that subscribe button as I'm trying to reach 10,000 subscribers to celebrate my 10-year anniversary of making YouTube content. And as always, thanks for your time, YouTube. By the way, if you another live stream in 20 minutes for Sleeping Gods, check it out.